Got my blasting cabinet to show you here. I pretty much made this all out of recycled materials and just painted them. It's OSB, um, handles are recycled. This piece of plexiglass up top is, and I just basically mounted it to the wall. And I started from the wall, just mounted strips, and Brad nailed them in, and then put the sides on. So it's just sitting up there like that. It is heavy enough to hold a frame or even something heavier than that with no problem. And it's all wood construction. If you're looking through the inside, that's just pegboard, all it is. And I painted it with like a metallic aluminum paint. And but like I said, it's still strong. Now there is tiers to this, so I can lower that shelf, and I'll show you that in a minute. And this is part of my hopper feed, gravity feed deal. Up there is a tank that's from a what it's from is an expansion tank from a boiler system. And I took the insides out, cut it off at the top, and then used this attached to a hose. You see where it comes down. I got to shut off there. It actually works. And then it spits out into this, which is basically a secondary hopper, and that fills up, and it's just tall enough to keep filling up as this is running out, and air runs through there. I've got a piece that I fabricated myself to make this a vacuum right here, and here's the nozzle. And I took the nozzle off of it's one of those Harbor Freight gravity feed deals. I modified it before and I had this set up on a piece of scaffolding, and I was outside with it, but I had some glasses on, and I still managed to get a piece of sandblast in my eye, so I decided I'm gonna make a cabinet, and I did. Like I said, I used the nozzle out of that thing, and this is just some vinyl hose. It's not the most durable, but it's what I had on hand, and it's already blown a hole where you can see where I've taped it up down there. Let me just take the glass off. I haven't finished that part yet. I still got to put some hinge up there, and I've got a gap in the back, and I got to cut that out to make it fit a little better. And still some things I got to tidy up there. All right, so my air comes in here. I already had the hose in when I painted it. And I got to shut off here, which doesn't need to be opened up all the way. I can find a perfect place, just like maybe halfway open. And I used all these shark bite brass fittings because I had them. I wish I hadn't used them now. It's too late. They're already contaminated with this stuff. I've already used this. I tried it out and got it all working before I painted it, and I was satisfied with it. It works pretty good, even with the air compressor I do have, which is not really ideal for sandblasting, but I've made it work to my advantage. To where I can continue blasting for an hour straight, and it'll keep the pressure right. Actually, maybe not an hour, probably more like 30 to 45 minutes. And like I said, it takes some finessing of the valves to get it just right to where it'll remain 90 psi at the tank. But like I said, it's not a big compressor. It's not really ideal for this. I'd like to have a 2-stage, but maybe some other time. But this bottom's sealed up. It's not painted all the way down, but there's some foam in there that's been super glued from the bottom that falls in and comes out right here. But I've also got a piece of sheet metal that I have to lay down in front of this because it falls through the hose. So as you're sandblasting, a lot of it does fall down into the hole, so you don't end up with a big pile. Instead, you'll end up with a layer on top right here. The vacuum is actually on this is strong enough I could move this thing around and vacuum what's off top and continue blasting. But a lot of it falls down, and I'll show you that now. Oh, this was a partially dry rotted welding jacket that was my grandpa's. It was serving no purpose anymore because, like I said, it was kind of falling apart in some places, but the sleeves were still good. So I repurposed the sleeves here for this. And then I found at Harbor Freight that you can actually get the replacement gloves or sleeves are really cheap. So I'm probably going to do that soon. Now out here, just painted the front red, and you can see this is a whole new section that comes out, obviously, because you got the handles. But in here, what I did was, I just put some sheet metal on this part here and screwed it in. It's painted. After I did try it out, I sealed up every corner of everything with some black silicone and then painted it. And then I've got this latch over here. So I just pull this one. I accidentally stopped recording, so I'm not sure where it cut off, but open this latch here. Let's see. Drop that down. I haven't got one over there yet, but I do need one to help control dust. Alright, so this comes off. On the inside I painted black. Let me just set this up. Alright, so after the front cover comes off, this is what I got inside. So this is where I can control different levels. I got this is all the way up. This is like in the middle, and this is all the way down. I guess I could go down here too, but I should never need to. So when it falls through here, or falls through the crack in the back, all the media ends up in the bottom down here. And then I can scrape it out a little cleaner now because it's painted. Before, a lot of the wood chips were coming off with my brush as I was brushing it in a pile. But it's kind of dark in there. Let's see if I can pull this out some. Alright, so that's a little more light. Like I said, it's just a 1/4 inch piece of OSB down there. And one side had a painted surface, which I've never seen any more of this stuff at a store ever again. I've had it for a while, but I found a use for it. And so I scrape this up in a pile, and then I can put a screen over a bucket and then pour it into a bucket, and it'll get anything out that's too big to go through, like wood chips or a piece of grass, whatever. Just saying. So like I said, this pulls on out, and then I can slide it down in. I still got some stuff to do down here. See, I used some other pieces of this leather to fill these corners up to keep pieces from coming through the crack before I painted and sealed up with the latch and the metal. But I'm going to go ahead and keep it in there, and I'm going to put some more up here too. So I've got a few more pieces that I need to put in there. I actually forgot about them before I painted. That's alright, I can do it later. It's probably okay. The dust isn't too bad, and that's another thing I've got to do, is I'm going to put an exhaust up here to come on out up this wall and shoot outside out into over here, which is an old wood burner that I don't even use anymore, and the birds have kind of taken it over. But I'm going to shoot my exhaust out right here and aim it towards the ground. So now I've got it all painted up and stuff. I've really been anxious to use this thing. So if I have to drop this thing down to the next level, I have to slip this pipe out, which is another advantage of the shark bites, is I can pull this out and then slip my next piece in, which will lower this shelf and puts this back down at the bottom there. And I'll put a little notch in that so I can turn this thing, which gives me a little more flexibility depending on where I'm at. So I have to situate the hose just right. But I can put a motorcycle frame in here, probably even a 4-wheeler frame with no problem. It's plenty big. And I haven't used anything fine through this thing. I've just used some coarse, which is coal slag. And it's okay for certain things, I guess, but I don't really like it that much. It seems a little too coarse, but it does flow through here just fine. And now I've got some fine stuff that I'm going to use for the first time. I'm really anxious to see how that's going to flow. And like I was saying before, down here it did blast a hole through this, and even after it did do that, it was still working, but I had some air loss right here. So I taped it up and slipped it back in there, and it's been working alright since. I know this hose isn't going to last forever, but right now it works. And as far as the inside, since I said, I don't have really a compressor to put out that hard pressure like I want, eventually I will, but I can blast with just some like latex gloves on and just slip my hands through here. It's just fine. It does end up coming out. Some of it bounces through and comes out. Not enough for me to really concern myself. Might be a little more with this fine stuff, but we'll find out. So first thing I need to do is put my piece of metal down there so it can help catch what falls out around. Another thing too is this can be situated closer and farther away for a different kind of output. The closer it's in, it does more like a spit, which actually seems to blast better. When it's away like this, it'll continue a constant stream, but it seems to put less in the line. But like I said, this way it really knocks the paint, whatever you're doing, it really knocks it off. But like I said, it pulses, and it's I'm not really sure how fast it is. I guess I could put some in there and we can hook it up and see. Which is the reason I'm doing this video. We've got something to do in here, so I want to just capture it is like it is right now, pretty clean. This is just a electrical wire that I had run in the wall here. It's not even hooked up on the other end. It was just something for the future, just in case. But right now it's not even being used, so I just stubbed it out right there so I don't lose it in the wall, and then silicone around it. Might need it sometime in here, you never know. So ideally I'd put this cover on with two hands, but it just fits. The metal edge fits just perfect down there, and then closes back just fine. Once I get it locked, push that in the corner there, this size, and she's good to go. I've got a subframe I've got to sandblast, but I'm probably going to have to go ahead and cut this video off. It looks like it's already over 10 minutes. Anything longer than that just takes forever to upload to YouTube because we have crappy internet. So I'll probably just cut it off right here and do another video of actually using it.